So I can't tell you guys how many times through emails and DMs that people ask me, how do I buy Yeezys or how do I buy Jordans? And so I wanted to bring a video to you guys for beginners basically on how to buy sneakers and 5 sneaker hacks that you can try to help you increase your chances to buy limited sneakers. What's going on, guys? Hess here, CollectiveKicks.com. If you guys would like to shop this week's top sneaker deals that I post for you guys every week, check the link in the description. So this video is going to be sponsored by the good folks over at Dashlane. And basically, if you don't know what that is, it is a password and autofill app that you can utilize across multiple devices. And I'm going to get into that a lot more in this video. Because that's going to definitely lead to some of the sneaker hacks that I'm going to be mentioning. So please note though from the beginning, this video is really geared towards newer sneakerheads. Some of you guys are seasoned vets and you know everything that I'm going to be telling you in this video, and that's totally fine. Just know that the intent is for those people that ask you for how you know everything that you know on how to buy sneakers. I'm trying to bring it back to basics and let people know of what you need to know baseline. But now that we have that out of the way, let's get into the top 5 tips. So the very first tip is to just know the sites that are offering the sneakers to be able to buy at retail. There's sites like StockX and eBay and Collect and Goat that offer everything on the resale market. After they initially drop, then people list them for the resale prices, which are usually astronomical. You want to try to get them at retail, and that's obviously really important so you can get them for the cheapest price possible. So in every single one of these instances that I'm going to be mentioning to you guys, you need to be able to not only download the app or frequent the website, but also create a profile on each of these. So you want to be able to have a profile on most of these sites. That way you can check in and out as quick as possible. Usually these profiles include all of the relevant information you need to buy the shoes, your full name, your address, and your payment method. Some of the sites that are really important for Nike and Jordan's limited edition sneakers are dropping on the Sneakers app almost exclusively, which is the SNKRS app. And you need to download that one. They have it for iPhone and Android. It's super critical for that one. Some of the most limited releases like the Off-Whites and the Travis Scotts and stuff like that, those drop on the Sneakers app, and they usually do like a 10-minute raffle window. So it's really like a raffle system. If at least you're putting in for the raffle, you're given some sort of a chance. So really, really important to try those when those drops happen. For Adidas drops like Yeezys and Pharrells and anything else that might be somewhat limited, they are using the Adidas app for those as well. So you need to download that app and create a profile also. Yeezy Supply is another one that's a legitimate website for Adidas Yeezy drops. Another site to bookmark is a shop.traviscott.com site, which is where he drops his limited edition sneakers as well. There's other sites like Footlocker, Champs, and Foot Action now are under the Flex program, which is a singular app. You can log in through your Footlocker app and it will register you for Yeezys and Jordans in your area close to you. So you can put in raffles on those online to be able to go in store and buy them. Finish Line also has something similar to that, but I honestly never tried it because no Finish Line stores around me even offer Yeezys or Jordans. Usually they just are never getting any of those. You can also try sites like Hibbett Sports. They also have an app and an online release. And there's a lot of other sites that offer at retail, which you can pay attention on Twitter to find out when and where those are going to be dropping, which I'll get into in just a second as well. The last ones I wanted to mention is Sneakers and Stuff and End. Both have apps that are definitely worth trying. And they usually do online raffles for both of them. Honestly, I've only hit like on one, I think once, but I have had friends that have hit on End and on Sneakers and Stuff, so they're both legitimate, and it's definitely worth trying on some of these limited edition sneakers to at least shoot your shot. Also, for those people that want Supreme, Supreme has their own website that I'll link also below, and they drop at 8 a.m. PST usually every Thursday when they have their drops. If you're actually just trying to buy the shoes to sell them though, I would recommend looking at StockX ahead of time to get a gauge of what the resale market is like. Sometimes like shoes like these, we're selling for $1,500 before they actually released in stores. After they actually released, then they dropped down to $1,100. And then after they were all actually shipped, they dropped down even lower, 800s and 700s and stuff for that shoe. So that's $1,500 to $700 is a big difference. So don't think that the pre-sale market before the release is the end all be all. It can go down quite a bit. When you have shoes like these, the resale was $100+ over retail. Then once the demand hit, I might make 10 or 20 bucks on these, I think. So if you're going into this only for trying to make a profit, just know that there's definitely a chance you're going to catch a brick, even if you're able to be successful buying something. I'm not the gauge to know what's going to be a brick and what's not. There's some other YouTubers that try to predict that stuff, as well as some people on Twitter. But the real gauge is something like StockX or eBay. If you sort the eBay by completed listings, you can see what people actually paid for the items. So I would recommend going those routes and seeing what the demand is before you get into it and spend a bunch of money on something. At the end of the day, you can return some of these shoes if they are bricks and you can't make your money back, but really buy what you like, or if you're trying to resale, be very, very careful. So the last thing I wanted to mention on this is who to follow for quick strike or shock drop information. There's a lot of really good accounts out there that have a lot of great relevant information. Some of my favorite ones are Sneaker Shouts, Kicks Under Cost, Soul Links, Adidas Alerts, J23 App, Sneaker Steal, Kick Deals. All those ones are really, really good, as well as Hess Kicks, which is mine. And I try to post some of the release information as well, but I primarily focus on sneaker deals, like anytime I see something really good for sale or new products that are releasing. But all those sites are great, and they will let you know when things drop on Travis's website or other random quick strike shock drop sites that you don't know that wasn't planned. There's a difference, because if you know something on sneakers is planned, then you know you need to get up at 7 a.m. PST on Saturday to be able to enter the raffle or the draw. But for the shock drops, you just never know. It could be a reflective version of these that are dropping on Yeezy Supply in really, really small batches. But that's why they do the shock drops, and that's why you need to follow some of these accounts. All right, so moving on to the second sneaker hack for new sneakerheads out there. Back to Dashlane, the sponsor of the video. A password manager is super important. Recently, we obviously saw that StockX got hacked, and people that I know had their accounts hacked, which is just ridiculous. But if you're an average individual out there, you reuse that same password for your bank, for this, that, the next, all these other sites. And now somebody that hacked your StockX has all of that information. Terrible, terrible look and a terrible way to go. So there's a couple of tips here that are worth noting, especially since this can happen, and just in general, not just for sneakers. It's really important to have your stuff secure out there. So Dashlane is a secure site and app that you can use to be able to be a password manager for you. But not only does it manage your passwords, like obviously there's other things out there. Google Chrome itself and like your Apple device can manage passwords as well. But Dashlane is a one-stop shop, which is even better. If you have an Android phone for work and you have an iPhone and you have a Mac and you have a PC for work, basically it stores your password information on all of your devices, which is super, super powerful. The other really powerful part about this is it does it for multiple browsers. So on my Mac, I have Google Chrome, and then on my phone, I have the password manager for Safari, but I don't have any unity between all of these different connection points, and it's super frustrating to me when I find a deal on Twitter, try to click a link, it pops up to Safari, which I don't have the password information that I have on Chrome, and then things collide and I'm not able to cop something because I wasn't prepared. So super important tip, be prepared. Have all of your autofill password stuff centralized with something like Dashlane. Also, Dashlane offers a password generator, which is really, really powerful as well. If you're gonna have them manage your password anyway off of all of these different devices and different browsers, you might as well create an auto-generated password that's completely unique to each one, to prevent yourself from being hacked and vulnerable across the board, first of all, but also because you can have Dashlane manage all of these passwords. And you can pay for a premium service that gives you more features with Dashlane, such as VPN and some other cool things out there, but they can store up to 50 passwords for you for free, so it's definitely worth just trying. Integrate it into your ecosystem and make it work for you. So you can get Dashlane for free on your first device if you go check out Dashlane/Kicks. It is my link in the description, so hopefully you guys can find it helpful for those people that also have had a terrible time in managing passwords in the past. I'm a hot mess with that stuff, so this is going to help me tremendously. But think of it this way, I've had passwords that I've changed over and over and over again to the point where I don't remember which version of my password is what is being utilized, and then I lock myself out of the account, or I have to forget password and then reset it anyway. So throwing that out there for those people that are scared to lose that control of remembering their password. It's really easier to just remember your Dashlane password and then have that manage everything else. So the next tip for you new sneakerheads out there is the ability to autofill. Again, you can use Dashlane for autofill, which is super powerful. You can also use Chrome and the Apple device stuff that I've already mentioned, but being able to have that device unity and browser unity with Dashlane is super, super important because it manages all of those same autofills across all of the different platforms. So autofill is not necessary for all sites you're trying to buy stuff. Nike, sneakers, and Adidas app, and sneakers and stuff apps. Those things you should all have profiles that already have pre-fills for your name, address, and credit card information. Then once you actually enter any of those raffles for any of those sites, it will automatically pull up everything. You just have to remember your 3-digit code on the back of your card, and then usually that you're good to go on any of those sites. But there's other sites out there where you don't have a profile, such as Yeezy Supply, the Travis Scott site, or even Supreme. And if you have autofill, it will allow you to be able to check out much, much faster. By the time you actually fill out your information and hit submit, the item that you're going to be trying to buy is going to be sold out. So the faster you have the autofill stuff, the better off you are. And the reason why Dashlane is super important, again, is because of the device Unity and the browser Unity that I mentioned. So the reality is sometimes I'm on my work laptop and something drops, sometimes on my Mac at home and sometimes something drops, sometimes I'm on my cell phone and something drops. And previously I didn't have all of the autofill information on every one of those devices on different browsers and whatnot. And given the circumstances of a shock drop, you never know when it's going to be happening. You have to be prepared ahead of time, and the only way to do that is to have something that actually autofills for you. So this can be really game changing for you to have something that has the autofill capabilities. So a prime example for me is on Yeezy Supply. I usually try Yeezy Supply from one window on different browsers. So I have one window up for Firefox, one window up for maybe Internet Explorer, Chrome, and then Safari. And then I have one of each of those up. But I always usually hit on Firefox first for some random reason. But for Firefox, I never had the Chrome autofill, so I always have to manually type in my information with Firefox because I didn't have Dashlane. But now I can just use Dashlane to be able to pre-fill all the same information that I'd be populating anyway. So really, really helpful. The fourth tip for newer sneakerheads out there is that private browsers can be helpful. I think that because of the bot market out there nowadays, where there's a lot of people hitting websites from the same IP addresses and so on, it can get a little cluttered and you can inadvertently be blocked off of some of these sites, even though you're not like a bot and you're not really even trying to cheat. And I'm not the expert on any of this stuff, but sometimes if you can use a private browser, it can help you get back into some of the sites that you were trying to shop at. I know when I post sneaker deals, sometimes for like Nike or Adidas, Nike will block me all of a sudden. I'll be blocked out of the site completely. I'm like, what I do? I'm just looking at deals, adding to cart, and checking prices for the most part. So sometimes I'll go out and open a private browser to be able to get back into the site, and that usually ends up working. The other thing is if you use a premium feature for Dashlane, it also offers a VPN service, so you can actually log in through a VPN there, and it gives you, I believe, a different IP address than the one you'd be currently using, so you can actually try to mask your IP that way in a sense, but you do have to have the premium service for that. If you're trying to buy limited sneakers from your phone as well as your Mac or your desktop, I always recommend using your phone internet instead of having your phone be on the same Wi-Fi connection, so there's less devices trying to hook to some sites. Sites like Kith or even Cause, when I try to buy, it will block you because it says you're trying to connect on too many devices. So don't go crazy with 20 different windows when you're trying to cop some of these things. Usually I keep it to 2 or 3. So if you enjoyed this video and it's been somewhat helpful for you guys and at least giving you a beginning picture for buying sneakers, drop a like on the video. But the last tip that I wanted to give you guys for newer sneakerheads out there is to set up a few different accounts and save that data with the autofill as well. The reason why it's somewhat important to set up different accounts is obviously it can increase your chances to be able to buy limited sneakers. However, if you do too many of them, they can block you. I don't know how or why, but they can block you. I personally just use between roughly 2 to 5 different accounts depending on the app or the website. But for example, for Adidas, I have 2 different accounts. I have one for myself and one for my wife. Legitimately, they're 2 separate accounts, right? So I figured I could use either of them when I'm going to be entering a raffle. For sneakers, I have a couple more. I have one for myself, my wife, my brother, my dad, and my mom, but I rarely enter from all 5 accounts. I usually only enter from 4 different accounts on the raffles. And for shoes like these on that raffle, I didn't even hit on any of the 4 accounts. So it's not like you're guaranteed to hit by having 4 accounts or more. You're just increasing your chances better from 1. But that's the other reason why Dashlane is really awesome, is because you can actually pre-fill more than one user on all of them in different devices in different browsers. So you can have different user profiles created for each of them. We'll give you a little bit more clarity on which ones you're trying to use when you're trying to check out. But that's my 5th tip for you guys that are trying to cop limited sneakers and products out there. Honestly, it is a grind. I'd have to say you'd have to try again. If you try on every hype release, you might miss every hype release for the entire year, but you might hit on a couple of them too. Like for an example, these are some of the limited ones that I hit on in the last handful of years. Obviously, it's not something that you get every single time, and so I still have to pay resale from time to time on something if I really want it, and I still strike out. But it's the luck of the draw, and you got to shoot your shot. If at least you enter the draws or you're aware of the releases that are happening that you have the potential of either making money on or at least trying to buy something that you really want at retail. Hopefully these tips are helpful for those people that are out there in the same boat as myself. Thank you again to Dashlane for sponsoring this video. Link in the description to be able to download their app. Super helpful. I definitely recommend giving it a try, especially if you're a lazy password manager like I was previous to this video. It's been super helpful for myself to be able to actually utilize this tool, which is why I'm excited to bring you guys this promotion. So for you guys out there, if you do end up buying some limited sneakers out there, after watching this video. Maybe drop a comment in the comment section and let me know what you ended up copping. If you do have other sneaker hack tips that I did not cover in this video, go ahead and drop those comments in the comment section as well. Always happy to see some of that engagement. But thank you guys again for watching. Drop a like if you like the video. Subscribe if you're new to my channel. Notification bell to be notified of when my videos go live. Have a good rest of the day and more videos very soon. Peace, guys.